full name?
Full name?
Your full name? Well, yeah, not your middle name.
So, Mike Creedon.
How old are you?
How old am I? That's a good question, because I never remember. I'm pretty sure I'm 43. Yeah. It's either 43 or 44. It might be 42. What year are we? 19? No, 42. Yeah, 42.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your role at Plate VR?
That's a good question, actually. So, just sometimes I just feel like odd job help person, really. But no. So Kate and I are the owners of Plate VR, and yeah, I'm more like the technical side of stuff. So I tend to put together all the equipment, make sure it all works and everything, and Kate does all like the all the marketing and the finance stuff. So yeah.
What would you call that role then?
Me? I don't know.
Your title.
Well, I don't know. It's all become really organic. So it's not like you can't just like label it. Like as a business owner, you just have to do what's needed. So it's really hard to just like put a label on it and say this is my job title. This is what we do. So I mean, on paper it's director, but I don't direct anything. So it's more, I don't know. It's like front of house, technical support, whatever you want to call it. It's, yeah. I think I enjoy engaging with the customers more. I think I like being in here and I like talking with people. So yeah.
When did Plate VR first open?
We opened in February, so coming up to a year now since we opened. But interestingly, we started more than a year ago. So just getting the ball rolling and everything happened a good 8 months before we actually got opened. And it all kind of stemmed from me just wanting VR at home and us not having the space. And then Kate pointed out that maybe there's somewhere we could go, just pay a little portion of the price just to spend some time playing. But when we looked into it, there wasn't really anywhere that we thought was suitable and anywhere close by really. So we come up with this crazy idea to open a shop in York.
Why did you choose Acomb versus going into York?
It was more about value for money and what you got based on the size of the property and how much it costs. We did look at a similar property in the city centre, and yes, the footfall would have been much bigger where it was, but the rates and the rent for it, it was just extortionate. We wouldn't have been able to afford it. We wouldn't have still been open now, I don't think, if we'd gone down that road, because we'd have been bankrupt. But not only that, we like Acomb. We moved to Acomb, and we like the community and the people that are here, and we get a lot of positive feedback from the local people here as well. So it's I don't know. So it's still busy enough to give us enough trade, and it's a nice little community, I think. So yeah, and plus the shop was an ideal size. So it was maybe a little bit smaller than we wanted, but we can get everything in it, so it works.
What can people do at Plate VR?
That's a good question. So the whole idea that we had was it would be somewhere people could just come hang out and they could come and watch other people play. We kind of wanted it to be like an arcade when like I was a kid. Me and my cousin and my friends, we used to just go and hang around in the arcade. But beyond that, yes, we've got HTC Vive headsets. We have around 80 titles, varying genres, experiences, those sorts of things. So, and it's all titles that we can provide with a commercial license. So you won't see a lot of your mainstream ones. I mean, we get a lot of people coming in and saying, "Oh, can I play Fortnite?" Like, well, no, 2 reasons: it's not a VR game and it's not commercially licensed. But yeah, we've got some good games on there as well. But yeah, I think the point is, you can experience this stuff in virtual reality, and you can do it as a group as well, because we've got 6 stations. You can bring a group of you and you can come in with your mates and you can all play together. Whereas I think if you were doing this at home, if you had your home kit at home, basically all your friends sit around and watch you stumble around with a headset on until it's their turn, which is kind of defeats the object, I think. But yeah.
What sort of games can you play?
So we've got stuff like obviously shooters. Shooters are very big with VR because it's an easy conversion. We've got some experiences. So if you wanted to go on like a roller coaster, or you wanted to watch a whale under the sea, we've got different things like that. So they're not necessarily games, but you just stand and experience the things that's going on. What else have we got? We've got some dungeon adventures. We've got such a big library, I can never remember it all. We've got some team games. We've got like a board game or Loco Dojo, which is a great family game. We've got basically all sorts of different games. And we try to keep it as varied as possible because it's very easy just to go, oh yeah, we'll have that shooter, we'll have that shooter, and just have a library full of shooters. Whereas really what we wanted to do was have a varied selection. So it's like stuff that people of all ages and all abilities can enjoy. Yeah.
What's your favourite game?
That's a hard question for me because I'm such a terrible gamer. In that I don't know, it's kind of like ADHD. I start playing one game and then I get bored of it and start playing something else. But I think on reflection, the one game that always makes me want to play it whenever I see anybody else playing it is Beat Saber, because it's I don't know, it's a compellingly addictive game. You just want to keep doing it all the time. And even when I think I've had enough of this, the next time I see somebody playing it, it's like, yeah, I need to get my fix on that one. And I'm really good at the shooters, which is interesting because on shooters on consoles I'm rubbish at, but in VR I really enjoy them. I'm really quite good at them. So it's a different skill, I think, playing them in VR than it is on the console.
What technology do you use?
So we currently use HTC Vive. We chose those basically because of the ability to use the Steam games, the performance issues as well. So they perform quite well with a decent back-end PC. They also they're robust as well. We did a lot of community got a lot of community feedback. So we're part of an arcade owners group in Facebook, and we talk a lot with the other arcade owners around the world. And the general consensus was that the Vive Pro, even though it has higher end graphics and it's got better refresh rate and all that sort of stuff, physically it's not as robust, so they tend to break easier, which is a bit disappointing. And to be honest, when we looked at it, the majority of our customers probably wouldn't see the difference between the Vive and the Vive Pro. So cost saving as well, we went with the Vive. Saying that, I would really love to get an Index and try that out in the arcade, because I feel like that could be a really good headset for an arcade environment. But yeah, not until we can afford it.
Do you think it's important for there to be places like this?
Yeah, definitely. It's not just... it's not just about gaming for us either. There's lots of stuff that can help people as well with virtual reality. We have a number of autistic kids that come in that do use your equipment, and it's a level of escapism that they can really enjoy, and it kind of, you know, brings them out their shell a little bit, and they get involved with things that's going on. We recently had charity come in that provides days out and things for child carers, so children that care for their parents and stuff, whereas generally they don't get a lot of time to go out and enjoy themselves. They provide days for that. So we had it was planned to have like 24 children come in and do this sort of thing. I think we only ended up with 18 in the end. Some of them didn't come, but talking with the organisers, it was really interesting to hear that you know, it brought a lot of them out of their shells. There was like some people that when they've organised these like events before with doing other things, one or two of them would just, you know, remain closed off and didn't get involved very much. But once we got them in the VR headsets and they were playing games together and engaging with each other through that way, it kind of really brought them out of their shell. So I think having that, it's an interesting mix because you are isolated in your environment. Once you've got the headset on and you're in that environment, you are isolated in it, and you're completely immersed in it. But if you're immersed in it with other people, you have that social element as well. So we get 6 people all playing the same sort of game together. All of a sudden, they become much more. There's much more interaction between those people than there would be normally. I think, which is I think it's really good. There's experiences on there that also like help people with their mental state and things like that. I mean, there've been studies about virtual reality helping people with anxiety and those sorts of things. So there's that element of it as well that we really enjoy. And the other thing we'd like to do is bring training aspects as well. So there's people that are developing training software for firefighters, for police, for military services, where you can put them into virtual environments where they can be in a dangerous situation and not actually physically be in a dangerous situation, which is a good platform for it, I think.
That's cool. What plans does Play It BR have for the future?
Just want to keep getting bigger. I think for me, I'd like to be able to open a bigger and better experience. So if we can get to a point where we can have a larger property and we can provide better experiences and more group activities. The other thing we want to do as well, we want to provide like a mobile unit so we can go and visit events or do like team building exercises and those sorts of things. And yeah, just keep moving with the technology as well, because the technology is moving forward so quickly at the minute in comparison. I mean, VR's been around for 20 plus years, and it's only recently in the last few years, well, last 5 or 6 years, that it's coming forward leaps and bounds. And you're seeing it more and more in the marketplace as well, not just for entertainment but in business as well. So yeah, we'd like to be able to keep a foot in that market and keep going forward with it.
Cool. Yeah.